It's kind of painful watching people all of a sudden fall in love with something and their heart's just wrapped up in it. And it's like, we could have done this. We could have helped you. We could have coached you through this.
Right.
You just have to have those conversations sooner and get your ducks in a row.
Preparation is key for anybody who is successful in their endeavors. That's Bobbie Kelly, the new CEO and team leader for Keller Williams Central Coast. On the February Market Report episode of the SLO County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze, you'll meet Bobbie and her feelings about the market from a macro view as she adds her perspective to what is going on in the early parts of the year. And the team discusses how the San Luis Obispo market is unique from any other market in California. February Market Report time with your host, James Bueno.
Hal, big things. Big things I think are happening to us.
Yes.
We have a guest today we're going to talk about.
Very excited about that.
We're going to question her and just put her on the spot the entire time.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, totally joking. So you've clicked on the SLO County Real Estate with Mr. Hal Swayze. Hal, how are you?
I'm great, James.
JT, you're back.
I'm back.
As always.
When was I gone?
Just from the last time we were here, I think.
Yeah, you're back with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the men's room.
I'm back.
You're back from the men's room.
From the men's room.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it and let's talk about our guest.
Oh, yeah. So it's exciting. We have a new, I'm going to call for our lay people, coach and president of our company at Keller Williams Central Coast, Bobbie Kelly. Bobbie's been with the organization a long time. She's got a ton of energy, and she just moved into this position. Jay, who was in the position, has gone back in the trenches to be with us. So, it's great to have some new energy, and Bobbie's awesome. Is this a good time for Bobbie to talk?
Yeah,
about her
well,
background?
first of all, we got to give her the customary welcome.
My God.
Applause, yes. They all get it. Oh, and did I hear that on my headphone? No. And Jeff's here too, by the way, everybody.
It's just a very raucous crowd.
Jeff is always here.
Yeah.
We can't do this without Jeff.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Who is Bobbie Kelly?
Yeah.
Who
Anyway?
is Bobbie?
Yeah.
New team leader. We call that within Keller, team leader, so CEO from the outside. And I've been with Keller about 10 years and just absolutely love the organization and have been in it kind of in the same way. Not at the level of you guys, but full-time mom, realtor, all the things, and have stuck with it to this point. So it's been great.
So to get to your current position as the team leader, CEO of Keller Williams, you spent some time in the trenches with the rest of us, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I have a heart for real estate. I love it, and am also thankful right now to be in a different position and taking a break from that.
Well, we're so excited to have you join our podcast. We love having the point of view of someone who's working on the business and with 200 agents. I know you're going to add to this podcast and make it even better.
We've all been parents almost, right? And so all of us here, and quite honestly, I do know this about Bobbie. She, not everybody can be a coach, right? But you definitely have other people's interest and success in mind. You put that first, and that's so helpful because this can be a challenging situation. It's a challenging place, but to have a strong sounding board like Bobbie, we're just lucky to have you. So
Thank you.
I'm glad you can join us here.
Me too.
Hey, I have a question for you. Being that you're sitting in a similar position that I used to sit in my first career.
That's right.
I'm going, how much time do you spend leading sales versus spending time as a shrink with your agents?
Oof. I don't even want to admit that. I don't think I think they all think I'm their best friend. So they might not see it that way.
It's important to help people get their mindset right because you can't be at your best in the business if your mindset's missing, right?
Right. Well, and you and I were just talking about that before this started, that who you are can get in the way of your business or it can build it big time.
Right.
So you have to be on point with your own growth if you want to be successful in this industry.
Do we have a topic for today?
The beginning of the month.
Yes.
I can't say the date because I'll get yelled at.
Right.
Right. So usually we do what? Market.
Yeah, we're going
Market
to
update.
read the
Let's talk
market
about the
update.
market.
But I can't
Talk
believe
about
it's
the
February
Yeah,
already.
yeah, I know.
Right.
February. Wow, super fast. Yeah.
Yeah, we just know it's in the month of February.
It's sometime in the month of February.
Yes.
Wait, there's a bowl
In the
game
first
going
quarter
on.
of 2024.
Yeah, we don't-
Should we make predictions on the Super Bowl before we get too far?
I will say, as a distributor of this podcast, that this episode is safe to do it on. Other episodes may not be.
Okay.
So
So
if
we
you want to
can-
get it out of the way.
Yeah,
get it
let's
out.
do it. Yeah.
Because we don't know who the eventual winner is going to be yet unless it's the 49ers, and then you do that.
Well, I know if there's anybody in the room that goes to the game, if they don't come back with a 49er win, don't bother coming back.
They should just stay in Las Vegas.
We kind of need them back. JT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
But we have a die-hard, born and bred Kansas City person.
On our
Can we
team.
call him a person?
Well,
Because he's a Kansas City
not
Chiefs
for the next 2 weeks.
fan. Okay, yeah. So it's fun in the office. So we got the Chiefs and the 49ers.
You guys have a Chiefs fan on the staff? That's even allowed?
We do.
I
Yeah.
mean, he wasn't fired immediately.
Well, he's gone today.
We sent him to Milwaukee today,
Yeah.
so that's punitive right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It was Modesto or Milwaukee, and he picked Milwaukee. Yeah. We were talking about what we pulled up because we pull these numbers up every month, and we've been doing it for 15-something years. Anyway, and I'm going to describe it as shock and awe because we knew things had picked up, but we got the final numbers in for the month of January, which just ended. And so our active listings were down a little bit. So that's not anything new or interesting to anyone that's been listening at all or paying attention. But our pending sales for the month were up significantly, 39.6%. Can we round up?
Yeah, we can round out 40.
About 40%. So that's
Good job,
that's a
JT.
huge jump, and we have not seen that big a jump in a long time.
That's exciting.
It-
I mean, I got to
it's
tell
wild.
you,
Yeah,
that's exciting because more people are getting to realize their dreams.
yeah, and it gives us a look into the future a little bit because our closed sales were also up 39 point something percent. So 40%.
40.
Yep, 40% more. And then our new listings were actually up a little bit, and that's the first time I've said that for a while. But if we look at that, 93 homes came on the market in the area that we take a look at, basically from Napomo to Paso Robles. And then we had 155 go into escrow. So that gap is pretty wide, which just tells me when all those close, we don't have more homes coming on the market, we're not going to be seeing a big change in the number of homes for sale. It's a strong, strong market.
It's great to see the buyer activity because
It is.
activity's fun for us.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
We'd love to see a little more seller activity, wouldn't we?
And it's a fascinating market because, we do have some inventory. I mean, we got 241 homes. Now that's for, what, 250,000 people or more.
Yeah.
So not very many. When I sit down with a seller, a lot of times I tell people, you don't learn much when things are going right. You learn when things are going wrong. So I look at, here's most of the homes that have sold, and they've sold from 7 to 28 days, mostly the sales. Pretty short time frame. And then here's the average homes that are on the market, and they've been on the market 88 days. For some sellers, it's a frustrating time. So that price is still important,
Huge.
right? People still recognize that and what they have in value, and it's really fascinating how it varies from certain location or property type. It's wild. But I think one thing I learned by looking at these, we knew in November and December things were really picking up the activity, and it shows in the numbers of pending properties and closed sales. So the momentum started earlier this year than it did last year.
We kind of work at sea level. We're in the business every day. Bobbie has the opportunity to kind of be up at 5,000 feet looking down on the business. I'm just wondering, what you're seeing with the 200 agents that report up to Keller Williams through you.
We're definitely seeing a lot more offers being written now. So the competition is high,
Right.
which is good to know when you're going in there and setting your own expectations with you will still be competing for those homes because we have lower inventory. But I do feel like we are having more listing appointments and we're going to have some more properties hitting the market. I'm hopeful.
That's good for everybody.
Yeah. it is.
That'll be a nice shift.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going
one
to
of the
get wild
shifts.
though,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
again, it's like now that people have kind of adjusted to the interest rates, it's not so shocking, it's not so
Right.
scary. They are coming down a bit. It's going to be the wild, wild west again. They're going to be trying to get everything they can.
It's interesting. It changes kind of from week to week too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's amazing how much things change. When interest rates start to go up, we see an increase in activity
Mm-hmm.
because people are like, I better get in before the rates go up. When people are expecting them to come down, it's kind of, well, maybe I'll wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wait for that sale at the grocery store, wait till my TV is on sale or something like that. So it's interesting how people wait, but if you've been waiting lately, it might not work out for you.
Yeah.
Right? Because once those rates go down, this is just going to add fuel to this situation we have
Exactly.
with demand and somewhat limited supply, but hopefully we're going to get relief on that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear what James' take is on what's going on in the marketplace. I mean, your role as director of marketing is to get people to call in, click in, or walk in and visit with us about a real estate transaction. What do you see happening on our website and kind of out there in internet land in terms of the activity?
Well, compared to last January, we're up 1,000, 1,500 views just to our website, right? So it's getting busier. The way it looks like, it seems like there's a lot of shoppers out there. There's people looking and just kind of investigating in property values, and they're looking at Hal, they're looking at our team, and obviously we can see all those on the site. So people are shopping. The numbers are showing us that people are starting to shop.
So
Yeah.
we're all saying the same thing in a different way, right?
Yeah.
There's more activity, there's more interest in the marketplace.
Absolutely. And Hal has been doing great. I mean, there's how many new listings do we have, right? So it's getting busier.
I think internet traffic, website, people calling on properties, another barometer, people having questions, inquiring, usually leads to, it's not like they decide on Tuesday that they're going to sell their house. So it usually bodes, it's like a leading indicator, I guess you'd call that, as things come up. So from your perspective, Bobbie, because, 200 agents, that's a big picture versus our little, portion of that.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you noticing out there in terms of price or what agents are saying, that sort of thing?
I just hear a lot of clients are waiting for that perfect property to list theirs, and that is, unfortunately, it's already too late. If you're waiting to find that perfect property and then list yours, you've lost out. Chances are your offer's not going to be accepted. So that is a huge conversation that we're having and talking through in our office. That's probably 1 out of 3 right now with people who are considering. So, and that's just educating them. And sometimes as an agent, the education comes in the process, and they have to lose out on a few before they realize what it's going to take. So we are seeing people kind of jump a little bit more now and get ready to list their house. And, everyone had the holidays, they had winter, and now they're ready to start doing the work and get ready and hit the market.
So if that's like many cases, because we deal with the same thing, obviously we all have the same people we know, so they've got a choice. If they need to sell their house, it's going to be tricky, because the perfect house for them means somebody else is probably going to like it,
Right.
and that wouldn't have to sell a house.
Exactly.
So I think people need to know that there's options, financially, maybe figure out a way to be in a position to buy
Yep.
without selling. What other options do they have?
Educate yourself that
Yeah.
you start talking to a lender as soon as this thought even enters in. Don't
Right.
wait. It's kind of painful watching people all of a sudden fall in love with something and their heart's just wrapped up in it. And it's like, we could have done this. We could have helped you. We could have coached you through this.
Right.
You just have to have those conversations sooner and get your ducks in a row.
I get it. There's trepidation there. I think most people, the public needs to know that most agents are not going to be a nuisance. Most people are going to be helpful in terms of giving them some direction.
Absolutely.
There might be different levels of that, but at the same time, it's a
Right.
very good place to start.
I do hear people still, though, say, well, there's, what are the chances it's going to have a cash buyer? Nobody has cash like that. Nobody's, you need to educate your clients on who they're competing against, because, you go in thinking, what are the chances somebody pays full price for this property? We still have plenty of buyers that have been waiting even through the last few
Right.
years. There's still plenty of money out there, and they're wanting to buy. So, yeah.
So preparation,
Absolutely.
if you're going to buy or move, makes sense. One of the people in the title business was telling us we're over 50% in our county cash buyers. But they were also saying they work in Santa Barbara, was it Monterey, or a couple other counties, right? And most of them are like what we used to be, maybe 20 or 30% maximum. So, gosh, John, what does that tell you when we've got more percentage of cash buyers with more sales than most counties?
It must be generational money, right? Most of it.
I've seen a lot of people that actually earned it themselves,
Okay. Or they sold a house
Sold a
in
property.
or sold a hello, yeah.
All those Bay Area.
Yeah.
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 Or a lot of people from the San Joaquin Valley that have, thriving businesses or want to be here. We see all of it. And then geographically, it's way wider than it used to be.
Well,
right?
Right.
Meaning LA, San Francisco, the San Joaquin Valley, that used to be the meat of our buyer distribution. Now it's all over the place.
Just think as a resident of this county, it takes a larger share of your income to live here and to own property here. If you're a resident of somewhere in the Central Valley, I'll just pick on Fresno for a second.
Yeah.
You're spending 30 to 50 cents on the dollar for housing there. Your cost of living is a little bit less there on other areas. So over time, you could certainly build up the assets to be able to afford a second home here, where it's a little harder for those of us that have to live here because this is where our life is.
Yeah.
To think about having a second house. Yeah.
Have to live here?
Yeah. I say that tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were joking.
Have to live here because this is where our family is or where
Yeah,
our job.
of course.
Right.
Yeah.
I I think this is the best
Yeah,
place
I
in the
know.
world.
I've never thought I would hear
don't
that.
have to live here. I can live anywhere, and I choose to live
Yeah.
here.
Choose to have to.
You choose to
that's
have
good.
to. That's it.
So I would say overall, gosh, it's going to be a pretty vibrant 2024.
I know every time we do a podcast, we can't do it without touching on interest rates for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just recently, the Feds met for their January meeting, and I'm not a macro guy. I don't really study macroeconomics, but I did listen to Jerome Powell as he was finishing up his meeting, and basically they're standing pat with the interest rate right now.
Yes.
So no movement. His conversation didn't give me a ton of confidence towards a rate reduction in March, but it made me feel a little bit more confident about the rate reductions coming,
Yeah.
maybe in May.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you read? Or?
I gleaned a few things
Yeah.
secondhand, the excerpts. Basically, it's like, in October, whatever the last meeting was, it was like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, they're going to just, suddenly people are going, he's always going to open the floodgates. And
Yeah.
now it's a little more measured.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're not going to do this right away, but they're poised to, I would guess. So probably just a little bit more of the same, which I get it.
I hope for interest rate reductions more than I know they're coming.
Yeah.
I want to know they're coming, but I can't tell you I know they're
Yeah.
coming. But what they're saying sure makes me feel like they're coming. They're just not coming as soon as,
Right.
all of us would like. It does create activity in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great to purchase now and then refi when they go down.
That's the plan.
conversation.
Ben, on the last episode, Ben said that he thought it was like 80% certainty back in December, and then it did drop down to like 65, and it was trending in a different direction. And he thought it was going to be more second half of the year, anyways.
For a March reduction,
Right.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like second half of the year is when you could maybe see it. But I think Bobbie brought up a good point. It's a good opportunity for you to actually get your stuff together if you haven't to this point, because you guys are all in this space. You guys are all in the real estate space, and you're like, okay, well, we feel the movement starting to come. You feel this movement starting to come, and that's when people need to get prepared.
It's like, putting money on your football team in the first half when they're behind. You get a better return if they hang in there and have a comeback. So
Did you make a bet at halftime last weekend?
I've made a bet,
Good for you.
from somebody from Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal.
It was a football bet.
Great job.
I have a self-interest in these interest rates. I've shared this on the podcast before. I got 2 adult kids. One of them just bought a house, paid a little more interest than he wanted, but he's in a house. And so I can't wait for him to have a refinance opportunity.
Right.
And since he's at 6, I want it to get down around 5, right? So he can make a move. And then my other adult child, she'd like to get in the market. And,
Yep.
getting in the market is tough right now, as we all talk about getting in for the first time.
And this child too, JT. I'm looking to get in.
Yeah.
I found a little place I'm going to look at here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully.
Has anybody shared with you that new mortgage program? I don't even know enough about it to talk intelligently on a podcast, but isn't there a new mortgage program with the state of California where they'll help you with a down payment?
I think it's 150,000 you can borrow up to. Okay, just very generally, about 150,000. These funds go quickly. State of California.
Right.
It's a loan. It's interest free.
And when we say quickly, what was it last
Within
time?
a couple of days.
10 days,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And we do have a few that closed in our brokerage, and it was absolutely amazing to see people get in there. But we saw some lines created from that program of other people, so I would expect it to go even quicker this time.
Yep.
This time they're going to do it as a lottery.
Oh, gosh.
So someone like
That's
James.
very
Well, there goes my
California.
chance.
Yeah.
Your chances weren't that great without a lottery.
That's true.
It was so tough to get through the process last time. So if you're really interested in looking at a property, get to your favorite lender that's participating in that program. Get started working with a lender. There's a website you go to and you apply to the lottery.
I found a lender in Montana that I'm working with. Yeah.
And I believe there was, this is from memory, 1,700 to 2,000 names will be drawn in the state of California, which is not a lot of names, but it would be fantastic if you were one of them.
Well, the good thing is I know Hal, so I'm sure Hal's got some pull in the state.
And can I talk about that off-color comment you made about a lender from out of the state? Because there's a joke here.
It's an inside joke.
It's an inside joke because
we
we always promote local lenders. So we had a nice family friend that started out with one lender and agent and missed a few houses. And, I said, oh, okay, we've talked to a lender. Yeah, I'm pre-qualified with an internet lender that's nationwide. And I go, okay, well, one of the challenges with that is when you get a pre-qual letter from someone that no one knows, that could be a big national company, but they don't have a real track record here, you may not have as much credibility as a cash buyer, a buyer that's got a loan but doesn't have a financing contingency, or a buyer that's pre-qualified by a local lender that's known. And so he switched lenders and got his next thing, and he got a better rate, which I didn't expect because the rates can be fairly comparable. So local lender, better chance, better presentation to a seller and that seller's agent that he's going to get that loan.
Yep.
Okay. And just having that backstop is big. And then, hey, he got a property. So I'm sure there's some great lenders in Montana, but they're probably great in
Montana.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's one of the big takeaways I would say I had from my first year or two that I spent with you guys back in the day when I started, and that's I never understood as a client or customer. I never understood the importance of a local lender.
Right.
I thought, they're all the same, but they're not, and that was an aha moment for me.
Yeah, a good local experience, that's quality, that's been around there. They've built a track record for a reason.
If you have a big national lender that doesn't really have a presence here, I'll bet you've had delays or escrows even fall apart. But I'll bet you, since I've been here, I have not seen an escrow fall apart that was with a local lender. Because once the local lender's word is good, the deal's going to close.
Yeah, and from an agent standpoint, even if they can both get it done, the ease in working with somebody who, you're going to see them at a restaurant or at the next MLS event or whatever it is, getting the communication is huge. You guys, it's so fun. These are meant for the men.
Well, I think you can shrink them down.
Oh, yeah.
This is definitely Jay's head is in these.
Yeah.
She's talking about headphones, by the way.
And we know Jay
Thank you, Jeff. Way to make it uncomfortable. Thank you. Yeah. On that note, is there anything else do you guys want to share for the market update?
No.
For
can't wait to do this again.
2024, February.
Hey,
February.
1 month in already. I thought it was New Year's a couple days ago.
It was. Thank you very much for a fun episode as always. And Hal, let's let everybody know how they can contact Mr. Swayze.
Sure. You can call our office anytime, 805-781-3750, and we will pick up the phone and be right there for you. Go to halswayze.com.
Hal direct. He answers his phone. Yep. All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you and talk to you later. Thank you for listening to the Hal Swayze podcast. Be sure to subscribe and rate this podcast. Check for it in your feed for the latest information on the San Luis Obispo County market. The Slow County Real Estate with Hal Swayze podcast is available wherever you get your podcast and on halswayze.com, where you can find current listings and other real estate tips. halswayze.com, that's HALSWEASEY.com. I am James Bueno, Director of Marketing for the Hal Swayze Group. If you're looking for anything real estate, give us a call, 805-781-3750.
San Luis Obispo Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze is also on YouTube. Now you can see people talk about real estate in one of California's hottest markets. Get the latest episode on the podcast page at teamswayze.com or subscribe to Hal Swayze on YouTube. Hal Swayze is a licensed California real estate broker. DRE number 01111-911. The Slow County Real Estate with Hal Swayze podcast is a production of AGM Podcasts. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.